In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at loading in objects into the UDK dev kit. If you'd like to learn how to make this dumpster, there's another video in the modeling section that shows you how to model this dumpster in Maya and then texture and unwrap and detail it using ZBrush. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and get started. Once you have your dumpster made with the normal maps and spec maps and everything, you want to kind of have a fresh level. So I'm just going to do new level, and then with these options come up, I'm going to do night because the level I'm actually building is an alleyway and it's at night. So I'm going to go ahead and save this selected level, and here you go. You get a fresh Unreal scene. The way you can kind of navigate just basically is if you have your selection on and you click in the view, you can actually, by left clicking and holding down, you can move. By holding control and left clicking, you can select objects. By right clicking, I'm just pressing the right mouse button here, you can look around the camera like this. By scrolling the wheel, you can zoom. So let's take a look at how we actually import objects in. So we're in Maya right now, and you can see here we have that dumpster model from that tutorial. And what we really do is we have actually two textures. We have a texture that's just for signage, so it's going to be signs that surround the dumpster and the actual signs that are on the dumpster themselves. And then we have a texture here. And if we look at it inside of Unreal, and we look at our content browser, this is what our materials look like. So it's this diffuse here, and it's this sign here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is select this cube and delete it, and then I'm just left clicking on these to get rid of them, and then I'm going to delete this as well, the cage. Oops, I deleted the floor instead. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is go ahead and import in my object. So inside of Maya, what you want to do is you want to select all, go to Windows, Settings and Preferences, and make sure that in the plugin manager your FBX export is on, which is this FBX to Maya. Then you want to just close that out. Then you want to do File, Export Selection, and I'm just going to do it. I saved one off as dumpster and then dumpster01 green. You can just name it dumpster_01_A in case you have multiple versions. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Export Selection. When we go back into UDK, I'm going to go ahead and go to Preferences. View, Browse Windows, and open up the Content Browser. The Content Browser is where you load in your meshes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to create a new package inside of here. So I'm going to select New Packages, and I'm going to click Import within this New Packages here. And I'm going to start by importing in my mesh. So this is that dumpster_01A that we did. I'm going to go ahead and hit Open. What happens when you hit Open, you get a dialog box. Now the package, you can see here, new packages, there's one called dumpster already. I'm just going to name this dumpster_01. You can name yours dumpster. And I'm going to hit OK. Now for grouping, this is where we would put all of our stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and name this dumpster. Or mesh. Because these are all of our models. So I want to group all of my meshes under mesh. And again, my package name is dumpster_01, and then the model's name itself is dumpster_01A. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK, and then I'm going to hit OK again. Now you can see under this new package, we have a package called dumpster_01, and we have a mesh, and this mesh is this guy right here. The next thing we want to do is import in all of those textures. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Import, go into my Textures folder, and I save all of my textures off as targets. So this is actually my dumpster_01 blue. So I'm going to control click all of these guys with the exception of my normal map. And I'm going to hit Open. The grouping for these, I'm going to name textures. And I'm going to leave the package dumpster underscore 01, and I'm going to hit OK to all. And it's currently importing in 5. So I'm going to pause the video until it's done importing. Okay, now you can see that inside dumpster underscore 01 it created a new grouping, and it has all of these guys in there. It looks like I selected the normal. I'm going to go ahead and delete that by right clicking and deleting it, because there's a specific way I want to import that in. So I'm going to go ahead and import again, select my normal, which is here, and then down here under blending I want to make sure that I select, or I'm sorry, not blending, TC default. I want to do TC normal map. That way it registers it as a normal map. Then I'm going to hit OK to all. Okay. Now what we have to do within here is we have to create a material that's going to link all of these guys together. So let's just right click and go up to new material. And the name of this material could be, I'm just going to name it dumpster underscore material. And then I'm going to hit OK. And what's going to help me to identify this is it says material right here. So it lets me know this is the dumpster material. So let's go ahead and start linking up these guys here. So the way I do this, let's go ahead and give ourselves a little bit more room here, is your diffuse is your color map. So my color map is this dumpster underscore 01 green. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to click back into here. Notice how it's still selected, and I'm going to hold the T key and left click. And you'll see that it popped it up, and then you click this little black box and link it up. Now if I want to move this a little higher, I just click on the name and I hold Control to shift it upward. Another way you can do it is, you see how this is called texture sample? I can type in texture space sample, or just texture. I think it comes up as one word in here. Let's see, texture sample, and I can drag that off down into here, and I can hold Control and sort of reconnect that. Now with this, what I want to do is, I don't want this in there. I want to actually load in my normal map. So I'm going to select my normal map here, click back into here, and click this arrow. So this is just another way of doing it. And I can link this normal map here. So click back on there, hold Control, move that up. And then I have a spec map, which is right here. So I'm going to select that, hold T, click in here, and so let's move this guy down, because we want to put our spec right here. So I'm going to click in here, hold T, click again. You'll see there's my spec, and I can link that up here under spec. Now I'm just going to hit this check to save off my settings and close this off. Now I want to actually create one more material, and that's what my sign is going to be. So I'm just going to right click, new material, and for this one I'm just going to call it sign underscore material. Like I said, I plan to use this material all over, like on street signs and things like that, anything that surrounds the dumpster. So I'm going to select signs from here, and again you can see here's the signs material. Click back in here, hold T, click again, and because this already has an alpha on here, you can see as I click through these options, these are all different linking options, and these are the RGB. So these are your red, green, blue, your black is all of them, and your white is your alpha. So I'm going to drop that in opacity here. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and save this off. Now if I go ahead and drag in my mesh, what you'll notice is, one, it's small, so I have to scale that up. And again, I made kind of a cardinal mistake here. Let's go ahead and zoom past this and then turn around. is I didn't size up my objects properly before bringing it in. So let's go ahead and scale them up a little bit. So you can see that my mesh doesn't have any textures on it. So I'm going to double click my static mesh here, and under LOD information, this is where you load up your materials. You'll notice that there's a 0 and there's a 1. The 0 is the primary object, the 1 is any secondary objects. So you want to expand all these elements open. So elements. So for example, here's element 0. So and then you're going to go to the material where it says none. And just like we loaded in the texture before from our let's make sure UDK is in the background. Before, I'm going to go ahead and go to textures, and then I'm going to find my material, my dumpster material, and I'm just going to click here, and you'll notice that it's kind of blue, but you can see that the material is on there. Okay, oops, let me zoom out a little bit. And again, if you have your size, your model sized properly, it'll look a bit better. So let me there we go, and you can see that the signs here are not showing up either. So let's go ahead and select our signs material and click the arrow there, and you'll notice it loads up there. So let's go ahead and close this off, and you'll notice in our view this is looking pretty great. Now what I want to do next is I'm going to create another material by right clicking and going to create a copy, and I'm going to name this material dumpster_01 blue and hit OK and leave all the settings. And on this material, looks like I should have added it to, let's go ahead and unload this. Alright, and let's go back into here and let's do that one more time. Let's copy this material, and we want to make sure that the grouping is textures, package is dumpster_01, and it's in the grouping textures, and looks like we spelled that wrong, but that's okay. And then hit OK to all. Let's try that one more time. Copy material, copy material, here we go. Create a copy, and we want to make sure it's in dumpster_01, new name, blue. There we go. So now we have one down here. We have a new copy, dumpster_material blue, and I'll expand that, and then I'll just select my diffuse here, select my blue, and then load that in. And I'll hit check mark. You'll see it'll update here. Now if I just select this guy, select my move tool, hit Control D, move him over. Oops. Another way of doing it is by actually holding Alt, you can make a copy. You'll notice that it doesn't actually duplicate the mesh inside of the meshes. So what we want to do is delete this guy and right click, create a copy, and I'm going to name this guy dumpster new name underscore blue, and I can actually drag him in. I've got to scale him up. Oops, I want to do a uniform scale. We'll just place him in front of the other guy and shift him off to the side a little bit. Okay, and you'll see this is dumpster_01 blue, but we never fixed the material. So I'm going to double click in here, rotate him around a little bit so you can kind of see it. And then in that 0 here, I'm going to select materials, go back into texture down here, select my blue material, and let me kind of let you move off to the side so you guys can see it upload in the viewer. And I'm going to hit upload. Let me close this out. Now you can see that I have both my blue and my, let me zoom in so you can see that a little bit better. My blue and my green textures on there.